So in the last session, we discussed about relative XPaths. We have seen various strategies of finding unique elements, creating a unique XPath by adding parents, siblings, then something like starts with, ends with, right? We have seen a number of approaches, right? And we have not used any tool, any third-party tool, right? We are still working on the internal tool provided by a Chrome browser, that is the developer tool, right? So we have not installed any third-party plugin. So now in this lecture, we will be discussing more on XPaths. Last time we discussed about a relative XPath. Now we're gonna look how we can form up absolute XPath of this element as well. So absolute XPath always gonna start from HTML. See, this is the root directory. So if in case, I'll first clear out everything. Control L will gonna clear all your XPath logs. So if I say double backslash HTML, so this is the HTML directory. Now inside HTML, where our element is it inside head or is it inside body? See, when I'm doing a mouse over on body, it highlights that element that we are looking for. So I'll say body. Now inside body, it is inside div. So let's see, this is, there are two div, but it is inside the first div. So we're gonna do something like div with the index 1. Now if I expand this div 1, then again we have another div which is at the first index. So I'll again say div 1. So this is div 1, right? Now inside div 1, the element is inside div 2. So another div child which is like div 2. I'll just press enter up till here so that I should not lose whatever that we have created so far. So we are up till here right now, and inside this, if I talk about, the element is not inside div 1, it is again inside div 2, right? So again we have div 2, so which will take us over here. Now if I expand this div 2, so it's a huge content inside this div, but let's scroll down to find our element, and inside it we have another div. So let's see. So this was the element, and yeah, it's inside div. So there is, I believe, one div. It's only one div, right? So I can even say div, right? Which will give me this element. Yeah. So let's expand this again. See, if you have one div, there is no need to give index. If you can give one index, or if you don't give any index, just keep div. That is also fine. So inside it, it is again inside first div. So one, it's a very huge XPath. And again, if you go inside this, we have div 2. The element is highlighting inside div 2. That is this. After this, we'll go over here, again div 1, then div 1, then div 1. So 3 times I need to say div 1, then div 1, sorry, and then div 1, right? So which will take us over here. Now inside it, we have form, then content is not there, I believe. So this is form. Okay, at times it may happen. See, the content is not highlighting, but it is actually inside this form only. So still we can try giving form, then content, and inside content we have section, then inside section we have div, which is div 1, section, then div 1, although it's a second child, but div is the first child with tag div. There's only one tag div. Inside that we have content, then another div, it's actually a very lengthy XPath. Content and another div 1, right? Inside this, we have one more div, then div 1. So div 1, div 1, div 1, div 1. 4 times div 1. So say div 1, div 1, div 1, and then div 1. So 4 times div 1 brings us over here. Inside this, we have our input element. Input, right? So this is the XPath, the absolute XPath for this element. So I can even use this and I can type inside this element. And this is a unique one, right? In case you don't want to use this much big, try breaking it in between. Till the time you get one matching node. See, one element is showing up. I'll again remove this. Again, one element. Again, remove this. Now, 2 elements. So, up till, I believe, up till here returns us one element. So, this is what is called as a partial XPath, right? So, this is partial, which is actually generated from absolute itself. And in case you want to combine something, so after this, even you can write @id equal to identifier ID. So you can concatenate the relative part as well. Not only over here, you can concatenate it anywhere over here as well, right? To make it unique. Even this is class, you can say div at class equal to and give this class over here. So anyways, you can make it unique, right? You can remove this much part and make sure this is returning you one matching node and is returning you your element only. So just try doing a mouse over, it should show your element, right? So this is how you can use a lot of combinations, right? A lot of permutation and combination, and you can uniquely handle any element on a web using these techniques, right? So this is all about relative. We have seen relative XPath, we have seen absolute XPath, we have seen partial XPaths, right? But so far we have not integrated any tool, right? So before we do any integration with the tool, at times you want that instead of writing XPath, can I get a straightforward XPath already written, like auto-generated XPath? Yes, you can do that thing as well. Just you need to right-click on your element, inspect, and your internal Chrome itself provide this functionality. When you right-click over here, say copy and copy XPath, you will get the XPath of this element. So this is what we have written. This is what your internal tool will gonna give you. So it won't mention the tag name. Asterisk means any tag, but the ID is unique, right? So you can even write tag name as well over here, right? But this is the XPath for this element, and if in case you want to check this is unique or not, just copy this and paste it inside over here and see if it returns you one single element. At times we are writing double quotes within double quotes, so either you need to make it single quote, and this is your element. This is the XPath, the unique XPath, right? So using internal tools as well, you can get the XPath for any element. Copy XPath and you can paste it over here. See, at times if there is no ID associated with an element, it may take some absolute path and like take the path till the time there is a parent which has got some ID. So over here, the parent with the ID, let's say up till where it has gone. So it has gone quite far to search the parent with an ID. So there was a parent view container. Which has got an ID as view container. So maybe if you scroll little bit up, you'll find this view container ID somewhere over here. See, this is the one. So from here, it has started taking the XPath, and up till here it has taken the path, right? So this is how it has formed a partial XPath, which is actually the location of an element and the relative part of a parent, right? So this is how, in case you want to check this is unique or not, again you can simply add it over here and check it. So there are a couple of ways, right? You can even write entire XPath on your own for this element, or you can take the help of the internal functionality, say copy XPath. Copy XPath will gonna copy the generates the automated XPath for you, and then you can try using this same directly, right? So all these approaches actually works fine, right? So same thing, you can do it on Firefox as well. So in order to do it on Firefox, if I launch Firefox and go to, let's say, Gmail over here, and let's say on the login window, I'll right click and inspect. So I'm gonna see the same thing over here. If you do Control plus plus, it will increase font size for this DOM component. And from here, like when you inspect your element, you can right click, copy, and you get XPath. Right. So from here as well, you can copy the XPath and it will return you the same XPath. And if you want to validate it, press escape. You get a console window. Same thing that we did initially. So write $x. $x is for XPath. Paste it over here. Okay, need to press enter to allow pasting. Okay, so somehow it is not allowing me to paste the XPath. Anyways, I'll create that XPath and check at ID equal to identifier ID and press enter. Should return you the same element, right? So this is your element, the input element. Right, same way if you just write input, then it should return you 7 input elements, right? So this is how you can validate things on Firefox as well. Same stuff will gonna work on Firefox. And now if we talk about IE browser, then in IE, you have got a provision to inspect element with the internal developer tool, but you cannot write XPath over here. So I mean, here you have inspect element option. IE is very slow. Right, so just got stuck. Yeah, see, this is the element, right? You should be able to inspect the element. But over here, you cannot copy the XPath, right? And you cannot type it in console to validate whether the XPath is correct or not. Here, those things might not gonna work, like the way we do it on Firefox and for Chrome, right? So here you can just check the XPath, check the locator, the HTML component, and see input name equal to Q. You can write your XPath over here, like input at name equal to Q, and then you can validate it, right? So this is how you can use different browsers and how you can use different type of XPath. Now, if in case you want to add any third-party extension, there are so many extensions available. One of the popular one is called as CrowPath, which is available for Firefox as well as for Chrome. So you can simply say download CrowPath. It's an extension to Chrome, so it's an available for Chrome as well as add-ons for Firefox. So if you click on this, and this is what it's already added it. It's already added on my Chrome. but you can, if it is not added, you will get an option to install. It's a free plugin, right? Within few seconds it gets added. So the benefit of using this grow path is, in case if you inspect any element, you'll find, first you'll find grow path in over here itself. I mean, when you inspect the element, you need to scroll this little bit towards left, and grow path is added at the end over here. This is what the grow path is, right? And here you can see relative XPath, absolute XPath, CSS, right? All these elements you should be able to find it over here. So if you inspect any element like this, you'll get one matching node found. So this is the unique XPath. You can see the absolute part, even the relative part for any element on this page, right? Even you can write your XPath and check it over here. Input. It shows 7 matching nodes. Write your XPath @ID equal to identifier ID. You'll get your element, right? It highlights your element as well over here, right? So this is how, I mean, this is the tool which you can actually integrate, and you can directly get the XPath, absolute, relative, but it will not going to generate a dynamic XPath for you. That you need to generate on your own, right? So same thing is available in case of Firefox as well. In Firefox, it is again available as an add-on. So simply say download grow path. So download grow path, and for Firefox, click over here, click on add to Firefox. Within few seconds it should get added. So add, been added to Firefox, and now let's see how it works. See, this is grow path. Inspect element. Okay, over here you need to check this option and then inspect it, and then you should be able to get ID equal to identifier ID, absolute XPath, CSS, your entire element. So this is how you should be able to get it with the help of GrowPath, right? So these are a couple of things which will make your life very easy while locating elements on the page, specifically while locating unique elements on the page, right? So if you are able to locate all elements uniquely on the page, you can easily automate any website, right? So this is what whole in-depth lecture, like we discussed in the first lecture, and this is the second lecture. So just follow these 2 lectures, and you should be able to master all the concepts that we studied for XPath. Now to sum up all the things together, because we have learned so many things in XPath. So what we can do, I mean, I'll just write down all the things over here. So initially we discussed about the syntax. We have seen that the tag name and attribute equal to value. So this is what the syntax we have for XPath, right? For relative XPath. Then we have seen how we can concatenate as well in XPath. So concatenation is you can keep on concatenating attributes like this, right? And after that, we have seen something related to starts with and contains. So starts with is like this, and contains is like this, right? Contains, right? And after that, we have seen something related to text. So if in case you want to find any element with text, so you can simply say text and the value. If contains text, so you can say contains text and the partial value, right? And after this, we have seen something related to if in case we want to find the parent element, we can say backslash dot dot, or we can say backslash parent colon colon and the parent tag name, right? So this we can do. Same way, if in case we want to find a sibling, then following sibling, right? And we have preceding sibling, in which we can provide indexes as well, right? So these are some of the things, some syntax for a relative XPath, which you actually need to practice, right? Then absolute XPath is just the address of an element, right? So address starts like this with double backslash. The root address is HTML, and then you can keep on adding the childs to it, right? So this is all on Xpath. And in the next lecture, we'll be studying about CSS selector. All right. Thank you.